And we are back.
Well, come on inside and get yourself something cool to drink.
Welcome. Got a little talk for y'all today. A little bit of drama. Some figuring out to do. I appreciate y'all for being here. Let me kind of give you the rundown on the proceedings this evening. And then we can have a quick conversation about why it's all important and what it all means. Okay? I'm going to give y'all maybe an additional 40 or so seconds to get in here because I got questions. There we go. I'm going to give y'all another 30 or so seconds to get in here because I got questions and I got concerns. And I know that my people behind the scenes at the Bleacher Report are going to do a fantastic job of clipping this up. So that's why I ain't going to hold y'all too long. But I got questions. And I got concerns. And of course, because I'm Voch, I got film to kind of back up what we're doing today. Let me straighten up my strings. I know some of y'all got OCD. It's okay. It's all right. So here's what I was doing. I was taking a walk the other day, minding my business. And whenever Cowboy news goes on, I get emails, I get texts, I get notifications from Twitter. So my hotline blinged. It blinged, right? And the Cowboys 30 visits had dropped. And I said, okay, Cowboy 30 visits. And this is important because typically the Cowboys, they go from those 30 visits. We know typically who the Cowboys like, what position they're generally looking for. Because if you take a look at those 30 visits, that's who the Cowboys are interested in. Did you hear what I said?
Did you hear what I said?
Okay, so I'm like, all right, cool. Here are our 30 visits. I'm going to pull up 30 visits for y'all. Shouts out to Blogging the Boys. They do a really good job of curating this stuff, right? So I pull up the 30 visit list, and it looks fantastic. Cool little 30 visit list. Offensive line is there. That makes sense. Linebacker is there. That makes a ton of sense. We got some running backs up there, damn near all the running backs. At least we know which running backs they like and they don't like. But something pop up on my screen. Something that was very much so out of the ordinary. I looked at it. And when I vividly read it, I was curious. I was appalled. Chat, I looked at this 30 list and the first thing I said to myself was, what the hell Taliese Fuaga doing up there? I was like, what in tarnation is Taliese Fuaga doing at the top of my 30 visit list? I was shocked, befuddled, bewildered, and confused because my Dallas Cowboys, I mean, it is what it is, Chad. You know, we can hate our Cowboys all we want. I hate them too, but the Cowboys win games. The Cowboys win games. So in my mind, if you win games, you have to go pick into the back of the bus. It just is what it is when you win. And I see brother Taliese Fuaga at the top of the 40 visit list, and the first thing I thought of is what crimes will Taliese Fuaga have to commit to fall to pick number 24?
Did you hear what I said?
That's the first thing I started thinking about, right? And then I thought to myself, what if this is not an accident? What if Taliese Fuaga did not indeed rob a Dollar General and he failed to the pick at 24? What if the Cowboys are indeed thinking about trading up? Like what if that's in the plans and the Cowboys don't trade up? The last time we heard something of the Cowboys thinking about trading up, that's exactly what the hell it was. They was thinking about trading up, okay? It was the Trevor Penning and Drake London conversation right now. If they would have traded up to get Drake London, I wouldn't have fussed at nobody. You know, I wouldn't have been mad if the Cowboys would have traded up to go get Drake London. You know what I'm saying? But if the Cowboys would have traded up to get Trevor Penning, I'd have been a little upset.
It's fact.
But I see Taliese Fuaga from Oregon State, defensive tackle. I see him, and you know, y'all don't really care about my rankings in that way, but he's my tackle number one. He's my offensive tackle number one, and he plays left tackle. So that says a whole bunch in the first place. Let me give y'all a little bit of film because y'all ain't doing nothing else. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. I'm looking at Taliese Fuaga. He's the right tackle for the duration of this film session here. And you know, it'll make sense if that's him tossing Latu off the film, by the way, right? And you know, of course, there's going to be some press conference, some introductory conversation where somebody's going to come out and say, oh, well, you know, we love Taliese Fuaga. Yeah, but we all should love Taliese Fuaga. Why is he on our 30 visit list? So that just made me wonder. One of the best running tackles in this draft. I think he's better than Joe Alt. I think he's better than Olu Fashanu, right? And I'm just looking here. What would the Cowboys have to do? What would they have to do to be able to get the best tackle in the draft? And that's just my own personal opinion. That may not be y'all's. That may not be the Cowboys' opinion, but he's the best tackle in the draft, in my opinion. Okay. So the first thing I did in this particular situation was I wanted to pull up Tankathon. And Tankathon is an incredible resource for anybody that's keeping up with the NFL draft. And I'll tell you why. Boom, boom, boom. Because Tankathon in real time keeps you updated on the proceedings of the draft order and all that kind of stuff. Okay, y'all done filled in. All right, cool. I'm Voch Lombardi, by the way.
Hey, Voch.
VHLOMBARDI on all different platforms. Just talking about why the hell is Taliese Fuaga on our 30 list. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he's even there. But anyway, I went to Tankathon, right? And for all these ads for Rice Krispies and tennis shoes, just ignore those. Tankathon got to get their money too. It's a fantastic resource, and they got to be here too. So I started looking up Tankathon real quick, and I started thinking about positioning that the Cowboys can try to sneak in, right? That the Cowboys can try to move around, and where exactly would Taliese Fuaga fall? Like if I go to Tankathon's mock draft, and by no means is Tankathon's mock draft like gospel or nothing like that, but it will give us a general idea. Let's see where they have Taliese Fuaga falling, okay? So they got Caleb, they got Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Mark Harrison. They got JJ McCarthy to the Giants.
Come on inside, get yourself cool.
They got JJ McCarthy to I'm gonna always take time to laugh at JJ McCarthy either being mocked to the Giants or the Washington Football Wizards. This is a good time. Anyway, JJ McCarthy goes there, and then the first offensive tackle that comes off the board is Joe Alt here. Joe Alt goes at 7. The second is Olu Fashanu at 13. Now, if we get a fall like this, chat, if we get a fall like this, how much is it gonna take to move from 24 to 14? Now, in this mock draft in particular, which ain't the official mock draft, we just talking, right? This ain't even a real mock draft. We're just running some scenarios here. The Cowboys get our Marius Mims at 24. I'm fine with our Marius Mims and the rest of my picks, like my second round pick and my third round pick. I'm fine with that. But to move up from 24 to 14, which is 10 spots, you'll have to give up your second. And maybe like a next year's fourth or something like that. So, chat, let me ask you a question. I'll even make a poll. Would you give up? Because we ain't got no fours. It got to be a next year four. Would you give up a second and 2025 fourth for Fuaga? And look, I love Fuaga to pieces. This has no correct answer. So yeah. I'm gonna go yeah, and I'm gonna go nah. Chat, would you give up your second round pick and next year's fourth to get the best offensive lineman in the draft, or would you just keep the picks that you have? Would you just keep the picks that you have? Draft our Marius Mims, and then by the time we get to the second round or to the second day, round 2 and 3, then we can get our running back, then we can get our wide receiver, then we can get our linebacker, whoever you want. I'm a big fan of Peyton Wilson from North Carolina State. I'm a big fan of Trey Benson from Florida State. If you could walk away with, like our Marius Mims, or you could walk away with some other type of offensive lineman, offensive tackle in particular, because I don't want to move Tyler Smith. I want him to keep being a guard. If I can find my tackle in the first round, and I can then get Peyton Wilson and then Trey Benson, oh man, y'all kidding me? We're going to Golden Corral. I'm going to jail. Assuming that the Cowboys would want to move up for Taliese Fuaga. Now, what'll make some sort of sense to me is if Fuaga would have to fall Man, let me go back to the full order, man, because I just want to see it with no names. Taliese would have to fall. I don't think he'd get past the Saints. I don't think he'd get past the Colts. The Seahawks, I mean, they got Charles Cross, but I don't know how much they like him, and I don't know what the rest of their O-line situation is like. Cincinnati, he's definitely not getting past Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals been shuffling and moving around offensive linemen for years at this point. If Taliese Fuaga was to fall, he's not going to get past Cincinnati. So in my mind, chat, but then had to move up from 24 to 17, and then you may have to give up a third-round pick or something. But I don't want to give up any of these day 2 picks. So how about my other scenario, right? The scenario in which you don't have to give up any day 2 picks. How about the scenario in which you kind of just wait around and you just chill? And maybe Brock Bowers is on the board, right? Let's just say, for example, Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia. He's a talented player, but he plays tight end, right? So maybe the league is looking at what happened with tight end last year. With the Sam Laporta, with the, Dalton Kincaid went first, but that seems to be a mistake because Dalton Kincaid probably would have went second. You know what I mean? The Bills just wanted to jump in front of us to go get tight end. The Cowboys lied about tight end. It seems like it works. It worked. Kincaid, Laporta, Tucker Kraft, Musgrave. There were many tight ends last year that were worth talking about. There were many tight ends last year that was worth the discussion, and they all went later. They all went day 2. Some of them went day 3. If you can get a Sam Laporta in day 2, and hell, we're Cowboy fans. We got a Jake Ferguson in round 4. You know what I'm saying? Do you really think? And look, the answer could be yes, because Kyle Pitts went 4th overall. TJ Hawkinson went like 8th or something like that, right? Do you think that Eric Ebron was a first round pick too? He was just on my mind. Do you think that Brock Bowers is a pick that could fall for you? Do you think that Brock Bowers is a pick that can fall, make it to 24 or something like that, and somebody behind you gonna go, I don't know, like, let me pull this thing back up. We ain't doing nothing else. Let's say it wouldn't be Tampa Bay. It might be Green Bay, but we don't want to do no deals with them. It's too soon. It ain't Buffalo. It ain't Detroit. Hey, all these teams got tight ends. All these teams got tight ends. So that's a terrible example. What if it was Penix though, right? What if Michael Penix? What if? What if Tampa Bay wanted to move up a couple of spots to go get Michael Penix? Tampa Bay moving up from 26 to 24, that might be a 4th round pick, right? So that may be where your 4th round pick comes from. So we'll move back to 26. They'll move up to 24. Chat, does that sound like a deal that's appealing to you? Because now in that empty spot we would call 4th round pick, now we have Tampa Bay's pick in the 4th round, which is pick 125, okay? Cowboys got pick 125 now, and all we had to do was move back 2 spots. What if we drafted an offensive tackle still? Jordan Morgan is gone and Taliese Fuaga been gone. What if we drafted a cat named like Jordan Morgan? Jordan Morgan from Arizona, right? Did I say Jordan Morgan's gone? Or Marius Mims is gone. That's what I meant to say, because he was the one in the mock draft situation, right? So Mims is gone. I'm not a big Tyler Guyton fan, so let's just say the football guys blessed us and he's gone. Taliese Fuaga, he's gone. He been gone, right? So let's say we end up with a guy like Jordan Morgan, left tackle from Arizona. And I'm a big fan of Jordan Morgan because I feel like, common opponents is important to me. And whenever you play against tough competition, and Liatu Latu is the best pass rusher in this draft, in my personal opinion. And left tackle Jordan Morgan had a day versus the best pass rusher in this draft, right? So Jordan Morgan had great games versus him. Some of these other pass rushers that's in the Pac-12, a lot of great pass rushers came from the Pac-12 this year, right? So Jordan Morgan is your pick. I'm hearing that the Cowboys like Jordan Morgan as a guard, but hey, man, that could be lies. That could be a falsehood.
It's false.
What if the Cowboys lying to us again, because they've been lying to us ever since Mike McCarthy get here? At least Jason Garrett to be honest to us, right? Jason Garrett to be honest, be like, hey, man, we like him and we drafted him. We don't like him. We not drafting him. At least Jason was honest. Mike McCarthy allowed right to our face. So if we're hearing rumors, I can only assume that we're hearing those rumors on purpose, right? We didn't hear about Mozzie Smith or Laporta until draft day, right? So what if it's a situation where we're hearing the Cowboys like Morgan as a guard, but what if that's misdirection? What if the Cowboys like Morgan as a tackle and they draft Jordan Morgan as a tackle on the trade up and you still get your 4th round pick on the back end? Let me ask y'all this. Which would you rather have? Would you rather have the move up to go get the best tackle in the draft, but you lose your 2nd? Or would you trade back a few steps? Jordan Morgan is not the best tackle in this class, but he's a good tackle. I think he's a really good tackle in this class. He's cool. He's a 26th overall pick. But then you gain a 4th round pick. What would y'all rather have? Would you rather lose your 2nd and draft Fuaga, or would you rather gain a 4th and you draft Jordan Morgan? What y'all thinking, chat? Chris Bingham says, I agree with K-Dot. Me too, sir.
It's fact.
I agree with K-Dot also. I'm not going to apologize to none of y'all. I'm tripping. Okay, not K-Dot like the rapper, but K-Dot is in the chat right now because K-Dot says we need to draft BPA. Jerry isn't trying to win right now. Well, Boom to Go says take the best left tackle. That's really a loaded question, sir. That's really a loaded question. I'll tell you why. Or that's a loaded response, and I'll tell you why. Because Fuaga play right tackle, and we don't know if he can play left tackle. And that's a big problem with the and look, I said this. Let me cut my music off because I'm getting my war call ready when I say this. If Terrence Steele could play left tackle, this wouldn't be a problem. If Terrence Steele could play left tackle, this would not be a problem at all. Because we'll just move Terrence Steele to left tackle if we draft a right tackle guy. Or if we just draft a left tackle dude, we'll just plug him right in and we'll be good to go. And we'll be good to go. But Terrence Steele don't want to be great for us. Chris Bingham says, can Steele play? Sure, Steele can play. Steele has showed us that he could play. Steele kind of looked a little funny in the early parts of last year, but he was coming off the injury or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But Steele can play. We've seen great games from Steele. His rookie campaign wasn't all that good, but hey. E Hits LeMay says, I want that 33rd pick. If we could trade back to there, the Panthers trade to there with the Panthers, we'll get a decent haul. I mean, we would. But here's another thing I don't want to do. I don't want to get cute with my pick acquisition. I don't want to get too cute with trading back. Because if you're let's just say you're the Cleveland Browns, you have an opportunity to draft Pat Mahomes or Deshaun Watson when he was good, or Carson Wentz when he was good, and they just chose like not to. You know what I'm saying? They ended up with Watson now, but like they had Watson when he was good, or they had an opportunity for Pat or Josh Allen, all these guys when they were good. You don't want to be the Browns and have a stud on the board, but you trading back just to get cute. That's the one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to have a dude on the board. And in my opinion, Armarius Mims is a dude. Jordan Morgan is a dude. Jackson Powers, Johnson, Graham Barton, like they're dudes. You don't want to move away from a dude, get more picks, and your first round pick end up being, or your first pick that you take in that second round, like that dude ends up being like some 50-50 player, like Kingsley Sewell-Mateo, right? He's a left tackle from BYU. Oh, he's a tackle from BYU, plays right tackle, but he could play left tackle, right? You don't want to be stuck with him because I think he's a coin flip guy. I think he's a dude that could be good in the league if his coaching is good, but he could be bad. I can't foresee a world where like Graham Barton is bad. I can't see a world where Taliese Fuaga is bad. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to trade back just to be cute and trade back. I wouldn't trade up this year considering how many picks we have. We have thrown more darts at the board. Hey, let me tell you something. This ain't the pick to trade back because all the gangsters are in day two. All your wide receivers, all your linebackers, all your running backs, defensive tackles, Tavondre Sweat, y'all like him? Hey, he going to be sitting right in day two somewhere. And I don't think his draft stock is changing all that much from the car situation. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm not trying to give up any day two picks for that reason because that's where all the gangsters at. That's where all the good players at. You want to talk about interior offensive linemen? If guys like Zach Frazier or Said Van Pran, like those centers, and man, Christian Mahogany, Christian Haynes, like those guards, like those dudes sitting right in day two. All of our favorite players are sitting right there in rounds 2 and 3. That's the reason I don't want to give up picks. And I love Fuaga. And if you got to sneak drugs in his car the day of the draft to make him fall to 24, if that's what you got to do, then I'm sure Jerry Jones got some Secret Service character that can go and pull that off. But besides that, we just got to live with the dudes that's at the back of the draft because we won games. The Cowboys won games. If the Cowboys lost games, sure, we could just draft Fuaga straight up, but we ain't want to lose games. We want to win them. I got one more scenario for y'all, Chad, and I just want to know what y'all think. I ain't put a whole bunch of thought into it, but I thought it was interesting when I first thunk of it. Let me get my film ready. So we talked about trading up. We talked about trading down. Let me ask y'all a question, man. Let me turn my music off so y'all can hear me. Let me ask y'all a question here, because I'm getting my Kevin Costner on right now. What if, all right, cool. So we talked about the trade up and the trade back, whatever, right? So what if, let's just say Jordan Morgan was there at 24 anyway, right? Cool. We draft Jordan Morgan at 24. Bam, he's here. I think a lot of the Cowboys' first round conversation is centered around offensive line in general, right? Hey, is Graham Barton there? Can he come play guard or center? Jackson Powers Johnson, can he come play center? Armarius Mims, can he come play tackle? You know, is Jordan Morgan a guard or a tackle? Like, it's all over the place. We'll take any offensive lineman we can get because, you know, we feel like we can move Tyler around. Duke Manyweather hate the idea of moving Tyler around, but we can move Tyler around. Let me ask y'all a question. Let me get my war call ready. What if you draft your left tackle, Jordan Morgan, at 24? And then you trade back up and get Zach Frazier, the center from West Virginia. And I know y'all hate to do it. I'm O-line guy. This don't bother me at all. I know y'all hate to do it. Oh, Voch, we can't double down on offensive line. That doesn't make any sense, Voch. We can't double down. But why can't you? Here's my reasoning for why you can double down the offensive line, right? I think if you can get a stud at a spot, get the stud, buy now, cry later. Buy now, cry later. And then later, you're going to be one smiling character. Because let me tell you why. You drafted Tyron Smith, and he's been our left tackle for 30 years. We ain't been thinking about left tackle for a long time because Tyron's here. Zach Martin was the pick that you made. There were some sexier picks you could have made. But Zach Martin been your right guard for 57 years. And we haven't had to think about right guard. If Travis Frederick was here, he got sick. But if Travis was here, then Travis would have been here for a long time, right? When you have offensive linemen, they stick around, especially when you do right by them. When they're good offensive linemen, they stick around. We've been talking about wide receiver every single year, dog. Every year. Because we're spending third and second round picks on wide receiver. Yes, CD's here. But this shuffle that we doing with Michael Gallup, this 5th round pick in Cedric Wilson that we keep shuffling, this 3rd round pick in Jalen Tolbert that we keep shuffling. Jalen Brooks is a 7th round pick. He ain't going to be here forever. Amari Cooper was a player from another team. When you spend the picks, they're your guys forever. When you spend these picks on offensive linemen and you hit, they're your guys forever. Chad, Tyler Smith ain't going nowhere. If you can double up and get Jordan Morgan and Zach Frazier, they are your guys forever. And you ain't got to worry about nothing. And whenever Zach Martin retire, all right, cool, TJ Bass, go play right guard or something. All right, TJ Bass, go play right guard or something. And assuming that Terrence Steele comes back healthy, he'll be a cheap player for you the rest of your life. Assuming Terrence Steele can continue to recover, he'll be a cheap player for you the rest of your life. Chat, I'm all about drafting offensive line because when you draft them, you keep them forever. I'm putting another poll up. Double down at O line. Morgan, who's the left tackle, and Frazier, who's the center. Question mark. Yeah. Nah. Create. Boom. Let me show y'all some film of Zach Frazier. And I'm gonna start with mixed in here, right? Let me just show y'all the game that earned me a lot of respect for Zach Frazier. Also, too, Duke Manyweather, O-line guru, said that Zach Frazier is his center number one. Still taking Graham Barton. That's just my own personal opinion. But he said that Zach Frazier is his center number one. And y'all can watch that. Watch me do that interview. I was talking to Duke. It's on my channel, Voch Lombardi, VOCHLOMBARDI. Zach Frazier is the center, and it was this game in particular that earned me a lot of respect for Zach Frazier. 2022 Texas. He went against 4 NFL defensive tackles here. Sweat, Young, Moro Ojimo, I believe his name, and it was another Texas character that was pretty good too that they had. All these dudes is pros. All these dudes are pros. But look at your center though. Look at him dealing with these gangsters. Look at him dealing with these NFL offensive linemen here. Look at this reach block on Byron Murphy right here. Look at him. Who he dealing with? Tavondre Sweat passing him off, climbing to linebacker. Boom. He dealing with the Oregon kids here. He smoked the hell out the Oregon kids. We ain't got to talk about the Oregon babies too long. We ain't got to talk about them. Just no matter who he went up against. Look at this reach block. No matter who he went up against, Zach Frazier was a dude. Down block, snatch technique. Bam. Look at it again. Zach Frazier, the center. Down block. Boom. Snatch technique. Bam. Man, I'm looking at Zach Frazier, dog. And I don't think Zach Frazier is a first round pick per se. But Zach Frazier is definitely a dude that's going to go in the 30s somewhere. And if it's me, I'm looking to get a center anyway. I'll get a running back in the 5th round. Because look, if your offensive line good, you could take more risk at running back if your offensive line good. Give me Ray Davis, Kentucky, running back, 5th round. Give me him. With Zach Frazier at center, Tyler Smith at left guard, Zach Martin at right guard, both those guards can come together to make your center better. Jordan Morgan at left tackle getting help from Tyler Smith. Terrence Steele at right tackle. Man, I almost cussed on Bleacher Report. I'm sorry, I ain't almost cussed on Bleacher Report. No, I ain't almost cussed on Bleacher Report. Man, you kidding me? I'll double down. And I know a lot of people hate offensive line in that way to where they want to they'll get one every other year or something like that. But if it's up to me, man, look at the Lions. Detroit Lions constantly invested in their offensive line. They got a bunch of investment. They got a bunch of equity in their offensive line. And look at them. They can be flashy now. Detroit Lions can be as flashy as they want to be because they did the work. They can get Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. They can get Sam Laporta in them. They can reach around and get whatever sexy positions they want to because they invested in Ragnow. They invested in Sewell. My man's at left tackle was there a long time. He was around for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They invested in their offense. And when you invested, when you make the ugly picks early, you can make the sexy picks later. They've earned that they could draft Jahmyr Gibbs 12th overall because, man, they invested in that. And look, that Lions offensive line going to be good for a long time. A long time. Chat, what y'all think about that, man? That's my scenario. If I can get Jordan Morgan and I trade back up and go and get Zach Frazier, oh, man. Kidding me? Joe 75 says, facts, bro. Need to have a solid offensive line. Pshee. Cody says, I wouldn't mind Morgan tackle or center at Frazier, but we all know it's not happening. Never know. Man, they ain't doing nothing this year. They're going to win a bunch of games this year. Now, what they do in the playoffs versus good teams, I don't know, but they're going to win some games this year. I mean, let's not get carried away. We need to draft BPA when we force picks. It never turns out good. Taco is a good example. Look back at history. But dog, how far you had to go back to look at Taco though? like I'm sick of talking about Taco. Taco ain't been here in a decade almost. Like that coach ain't even here no more. Mike McCarthy almost been here, what, 5-6 years? I'm sick of talking about Taco Charlton. We don't really miss like that. Give your Cowboys some grace, man. We don't miss in that way. We don't do a whole bunch of goofy stuff. We don't do a whole bunch of goofy stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We will. Cowboys batting like what, 91% or something? We can't keep bringing up Taco, man. We've got to move on. Look, we need to go get some therapy. That was a toxic relationship. We've got to move on. Kayla says we missed last year. Okay, well, ask an Eagle fan last year, did they miss with Jordan Morgan? And they'll tell you, yeah. I mean, not Jordan Morgan, Jordan Davis. They'll tell you, yeah. Tell me what defensive tackle that's not a top 10 pick that shows up and just whoop ass immediately. Kobe Turner for the Rams, I give you that one. The rest of them guys, man, they take years to develop a little bit, man. Justin Madubuike been in the league for what, 7 years, and he just now getting paid. Defensive tackle don't work like running back and wide receiver. Them dudes gotta, like, they take time to develop a little bit. Even Osa jumped out for 6 games his rookie year, but his ass hit that wall, and Osa disappeared. Osa did it last year. Keeping it a buck with you, it takes defensive tackles time to develop. Now, I ain't saying Mozzie gonna be Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter or nothing like that. He was a back of the first round character. He was a bit of a reach or whatever. But man, give Mozzie time before we come out there talking about Mozzie. How about this? We've given Taco plenty of time. We've given Taco plenty of time to be trash. He's trash. Give Mozzie his time. Give Mozzie his time. Dallas didn't make Mozzie lose weight. Our running backs were getting hit at or behind the line of scrimmage. It was Tyler Biadasz. Tyler Biadasz was getting people smoked out there, man. Tyler Biadasz was getting people whooped because he wasn't good, and Chuma Edoga was getting people whooped because he didn't know the plays. But you know, trading back to the end of the first round for AD Mitchell, I think there's a lot of wide receivers in this class value-wise that you can do better than AD Mitchell in the first. You can get Pearsall in the third and be fine. That should have gotten someone fired. Yeah, too soon. Best offensive lineman available. Hey, let's do it twice. And then look, BPA, keeping it a buck with you. If I could be real for a minute, Jordan Morgan might be the best player at 24, and Zach Frazier may be the best player at whatever pick we traded up to. 214 boy says, I would rather be patient at wide receiver. Let me show you something, man. Let me show you what wide receiver look like this year. Let me show y'all what wide receiver look like this year. Let me show y'all something real quick, man. This is Pac-12. I can show y'all this. All right, cool. Boom. Hold on. There we go. Window. There we go. Y'all see this character on the screen? Let me move me out the way because he about to go crazy. Do y'all see this character on the screen? His name is Jalen Polk. He's incredible. And these are technically highlights, but you can go to his film and just watch him do stuff on film like this all day, every day. He catches everything. He's a yak guy. Big playability. Ain't nobody talking about Jalen Polk like that. Jalen Polk is not a first round pick. I don't think a lot of people looking at Jalen Polk as a second. He's a second round pick to me, but a lot of people talking about Jalen Polk as if he's a third round pick type of guy. This is this class. This is what this class brings you. A dude like Jalen Polk, you can get way late, and way late, hyperbolic a little bit, but you get him like third round or something like that. I'll give you another one. Here's a guy on your 30 list. Malachi Corley, day 2 guy. He's your next Deebo Samuel. And this ain't me being hyperbolic. Everybody's calling him Debo Samuel. He played at Western Kentucky, and a lot of people gonna talk about the competition that he played against at Western Kentucky. That's why, see, Voch love y'all, so that's why I pull some big film from Auburn and Ohio State and Indiana. I wanted to pull some film from some Power 5 schools just so I could show y'all that Malachi Corley ain't nothing to be fooled with. Malachi Corley is not a first round pick. You can get you a wide receiver. Let me find you another one. Hold on. I got another. Where my guy at? Where my guy? There we go. There he is. Hey, you want to know something Dak been missing? Is a throw it up and go get it guy. I'm going to just throw it up. He down there somewhere guy. Xavier Leggett. I just want to run this play again. Xavier Leggett. He is not a first round pick. He's a gangster though. He's such a gangster though. Man, look, you could get A.D. Mitchell in the first round. But boy, you can get some gangsters in day 2. Boy, you can act a fool with wide receiver in day 2. And I feel y'all, man. I feel you. I was just about to show y'all Tez Walker, but he's ACC. Who else we got? Jacob Cowing. He might be a 4th round guy. We ain't got a 4th right now, but even your 4th round wide receivers got a little bit of sauce on them. Man, listen, dog. I ain't telling y'all what to do, and I ain't telling y'all who to root for. It's some dudes in this draft, man. Chat, do y'all have any other questions, man? Xavier Leggett will go in a second. And look, and this is my whole point. Where's my list? This is my whole point. Xavier Leggett could very well go in a second because he's a 2nd round type of talent. But let me run down some names to you of everybody that's round 2 talents, right? Ladd McConkey. In my opinion, A.D. Mitchell. Troy Franklin, depending on what you think about him. Roman Wilson. Ricky Pearsall. Jermaine Burton might be more of a 3rd round guy or 4th round guy. Keon Coleman, definitely round 2 guy. Jalen Polk, round 2 guy. Xavier Leggett, round 2 guy. Jalen McMillan may be round 3 or so. Xavier Worthy's definitely a round 2 guy from what he's done. Tez Walker may go a little later. Johnny Wilson go a little later. Malachi Corley, round 2 guy. Brendan Rice is a round 3 guy, but I can see a team liking him a bunch. But I'm gonna say Brendan Rice is a round 3 guy. What all these guys have in common is that they're the same type of dude. Wide receiver is thick this year. It's thick. So yeah, Xavier Leggett is a round 2 talent, and you can say he's gonna go round 2. But you can say that about a lot of wide receivers, and I think that's gonna bump some receivers into the 3rd round. That's just my personal opinion. It's stacked this year. Y'all got any other questions? I think start picking up. Yeah. To after the draft. Yeah, sure. Dallas got to hit on all the picks. Yeah, sure. Dallas got to have a good draft. Not only does Dallas got to have a good draft, but next year's draft got to get a little better. This is what it is. Y'all would pass on Brian Thomas Jr. and Worthy. I think Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's the clear consensus wide receiver 4 guy. And even if he's your wide receiver 4, I don't think that makes him a top 12 guy or a top 15 guy. No, they're not going to trade Dak. Dak has a no trade clause. Other teams will wait for wide receivers, so some more guys. But hey, man, it's a good class to have them. It's a good class to have them. But I tell you what, though, all that wide receiver stuff is cool. All that trading up stuff is cool. But if we walk away with one guy, I'm going to Golden Corral. I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave. I can't even play the film because they're ACC. Peyton Wilson, who's a Cowboy 30 visit. If the Cowboys walk away with Peyton Wilson, I don't care what round it is, we can boogie. I can't play Peyton Wilson here on the bleacher, but if y'all want to see Peyton Wilson film, go to Voch Lombardi, VOCHLOMBARDI on YouTube. I got a Peyton Wilson film session up there. Go watch. How many wide receivers go in the first round? I think for sure 3. Brian Thomas might fall, but he could go. Ladd could be a first round pick, but he may not. AD could go first round, but he may not. Troy Franklin better not go first, so I'm gonna laugh. It just depends. All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all for being here, man. Love y'all to pieces. Swati Cop. Bleach Report, shouts out to y'all for having me. Everybody download the Bleach Report, but you got it already because you're watching here. But at least y'all could do is to help somebody else and tell somebody else to download the Bleach Report app. And if you like my work, follow the Voch Lombardi tab so you'll be notified when I go live. I think that's how Bleach Report works. You get notified when I go live. All right. If not, we'll figure it out. Y'all hold it down till next time, man. Salute. I'm going live on YouTube later. Tap in.